Hello and welcome to Wartales. Now, I've had this game purchased for a long time in my Steam library, like a long time, and I played it a little bit when I first got it, obviously, and I kind of really enjoyed it. But again, as usual, other shit just took over, and we were playing that again, like grinding ranked in League. But what I thought was, if I'm really going to get into this game and actually play it properly and kind of commit to a decent kind of save, it's time to take the boys back out on the road. So we're going to take our XCOM crew out on another adventure. However, this time a more medieval adventure. Now, obviously, we'll walk through the key mechanics of the game as we go through, but it's a really fun game. So I'm quite looking forward to it. Lots of things can happen along the way as well. So without further ado, I suggest we crack on. So we're going to start a new game, obviously. Now, how our destiny, we need to choose our destiny. So we can be apprentice friends looking for an adventure, nice, men escorting merchants to their employer, deserters fleeing an abusive captain, young farmers looking for a better life, or bandits looking to escape the guard. Now I'm just thinking for us what kind of fits with the narrative. The obvious one is apprentice friends looking for an adventure. I just think that fits the narrative really well. We'll get plus 30 influence and we'll get less raw materials, that's fine, but we'll start with a swordsman, an archer, a ranger and a brute. So a really broad kind of class pool, I suppose. So I think we'll take that. Let's do it. If we had, now we need to choose now, I guess a kind of a trait for our troops. So we're used to long walks. The Strava is popping, so we could have a look at that. Cunning fighters. Now, yeah, nice, really good bonuses on that. Experience 10%, influence 10%, really good. Constitution, so we can increase our resilience. Excellent at slap games, so means we get increased crit, which is obviously huge. And quick learners, we can gain experience. So these are all obviously positive. I'm gonna take cunning fighters. I just think 10% experience getting combat is in the long game OP. So we're going to take cunning fighters. We're good at FPS games, so that fits the narrative. If we had a flaw, okay, here we go. A meek appearance, absolutely. Eternal dissatisfaction, yes. An uncommon bout of bad luck. I'm not reducing our crit by 3%. A very hard time getting up. Danger during rest increased by 10%. We'll cover that when we do our first kind of camp. A serious lack of self-confidence. I think a meek appearance, I'll be honest, probably fits the narrative the best. So we'll take -1 carrying capacity. We'll just have to live with that. Now there are two ways to play the game. Adaptive exploration, which means that the game will basically scale to our group's power in every single zone. Or we've got region locked exploration, which means if we want to go into other regions, we'll need to be at the right level. I kind of did a bit of research on this in terms of what the best thing to do is, and region locked seemed to be the best. So we kind of will progress through each area kind of in a more sort of strategic way. One of the things that does kind of stay the same as though is that any guards and stuff continue to scale with you, so you can't, we won't just be able to come back to the starter area and then rinse the guards in all the kind of major settlements for all their armor and all their gear. So we're going to do region locked, and we'll play kind of from there. Combat difficulty, we're going experienced. We won't go expert because I haven't played that much. I think we're going to stick everything on experience because we've been around the block. We should be fine. And save mode, we'll put it as free because of recording. Again, we will stick to our Iron Men principle, which is that if anybody dies, they dies. So we won't bring anybody back. But just purely in case anything messes up with the recording, we'll leave it on free. Here we go, character creation. Now, first of all, we need to sort the pony out. Now, obviously we can rename our pony here. And I think really there's only one real name for a pony. The pony's going to be called Scruff. It just fits perfectly, doesn't it? Now the pony doesn't really look old enough, but we can change that. I'm thinking, bit of Shadowfax. Yeah, okay. So again, here we can mess about with this. Traits random. We can add traits ourselves. I'm going to leave it as random because I think it's more fun that way. So Scruff is in. We've got a swordsman, a ranger, an archer, and a brute. Now I think the ranger we'll start with here. Now this is kind of the rogue class, so we definitely want this. I'm just thinking of the right hair. there aren't that many hair options, to be clear. So still not. That's more of a kind of. I think maybe. Yeah. Okay, I can deal with this for EWAF. Right, we need a beard though. We need a beard. Oh, strong. Okay, that's looking good. Right, clothing color. I'm not too fussed. I think the blue looks nice. Again, traits. I'm gonna leave all traits to stock basically. So we have EWAF. He's in. First team member is in. Now I think for our archer, it's gonna be arrows. Now the key thing is we start with 4 companions, but we'll build up our troop size quite significantly. So I think I'm going to be looking for the hair here first. That's kind of an interesting hairstyle. Can't have too much hair, obviously. But also as well, you know, this is a narrative world where many things can exist that aren't true to real life. Right, let's get a nice blonde in there. I'm not happy with the face. Also, I'm not. The facial hair is appalling. We now have no facial hair, please. It needs to be clean. Oh, I actually quite like it. We've got the. I'm just feeling it. I'm just going to go with how we feel. Arrows is in. EWAF and arrows are in. Now, swordsman. This has just got to be coach here. Now we will obviously change the appearance to a man. Obviously the hair is super simple. We're just going for that. Yes. Now we do need a beard though. What kind of beard though? I think full beard is good. It also fits the swordsman. I quite like the way that that's set up already. Clothing colour, again, I'm not too fussed. There's not that much difference in the kind of colours anyway, so that's fine. Okay, swordsman, done. Now, brute. Now we are going to take the female brute here, and it's of course going to be Locket. Now we need to go for. I'm looking for the peak in. Yep. Okay. Skin tone. I don't like the yellow. Yep. Hair. We're looking for like something that's really going to match Steven's kind of. I quite like it. Now hair color, however, I think nice and dark would be good on the hair color. Yeah. Okay. All right. There we go. So this is going to be our starting troop. Why has that gone to Cornic? Coach. Maybe I didn't press OK. So we've got Coach, EWAF, Arrows, Locket, and Scruff the Pony. I can't think of a both better and worse troop to take on this adventure. As I said, we will collect other companions along the way. We can't change their visuals, but we can change the names. So as well as when we kind of recruit new people for the troop, we'll be thinking about their abilities and their classes in terms of balance, but we will absolutely be prioritizing their visual appearance. So let's go. We'll get into combat quite quickly as a little kind of combat tutorial at the beginning, so you can see how that works, and then we'll play through a little bit. Right, our companions are off. After a few days of quietly travelling along, their only feat was not getting lost, and they have reached their destination. Here surely awaits some novel and exciting quest that will stir up the uneventful lives of bored apprentices. Adventure awaits. All right. So I really like the world map on this. I think it's really fucking cool the way they've done it. We've got our companions up here in the top left, which we can look at here. Knowledge, as we kind of explore and do things, we'll gain knowledge points, which allows us to unlock different things. Each region has kind of an overarching story and a kind of bit of progression for the area. Obviously we're at 0 because we haven't moved yet. Suspicion is our wanted level, so if we start stealing and killing guards and doing stuff, our wanted level will go up. Obviously we've got time of day here. Fatigue, this is how far we can move basically in a given day, so we need to kind of balance this. Happiness is 5 currently, but you know, we get lots of nice bonuses by having a nice happy troop. If we get above 15, we also get additional influence. So influence we can spend on recruiting companions and performing certain actions and doing certain things will be using our influence, so we need to build this up. Now valor points we use in combat to use special abilities. We regain these every time we rest, but it's important to note that these are these valor points are global, so they'll be for everybody. Everybody will have an ability that will use a valor point at some point. So we need to just kind of, again, pick and choose what we're going to go with. Food. We've got 72 food, 4 days remaining, so we'll need to keep that nicely topped up. And we start with 200 gold. So nice and straightforward. You can see from my inventory here, we've got raw materials to repair our armor and stuff. Got a bit of medicine to cure, and we've got a little bit of food. 12 bread, 12 apples. So yeah, I think let's kick off. Now basically we see on the map here as we click through that there's these little highlightable things. Sometimes they're quite hidden. We want to make sure we pick these up. These can be used for like alchemy, or they can be used for crafting stuff. So we want to make sure we kind of follow those. But we're going to obviously give these guys a bit of a slap here. So combat, we've got a hoodlum and a poacher. So obviously we want to fight these guys. Now the way combat works is quite free-flowing. It is turn-based, a la XCOM and other turn-based games. But as you can see down here, the turn order, we've got 2 turns. We're the blue, and then the next person to take their action is going to be this hoodlum here. Then we'll get 2 actions. Then the poacher will take their turn last. Now the good thing with this is there is a turn order for my people, but you can use anybody in these turn orders. So I can literally start the encounter off with anybody. But first of all, we need to move things around. So we've got a swordsman here. I really would like my rogue Ewaf to be the one who kind of engages the archer, because the archer's going to do fuck all melee damage. I want this guy is a bit more beefy, so I could do my swordsman and lock it here, my brute, to just engage this guy, and then have arrows kind of on the flank to do this. So I think we're going to start the first move. We're going to take locket in. You see the move range here, so this is all you can move in a single turn. Action points kind of, it's not as strict, so I can move and then I can use my abilities within the turn. So what we're going to do here is engage this guy with our brute, Steven. So this engages him in combat. Again, if I wanted to move Steven away, I'd have to disengage, and it would then give him an attack of opportunity, kind of classic D&D style. So I think the only really simple thing to do is to smash this guy over the head with our club. Alright, so as you can see there, they've got armor to get through before you can start chipping away at their health. Obviously the archer has not too much. So Steven's engaged in combat here. I can use taunt. This will use one of our action points, as I said, one of the little kind of orange diamonds there. Grants weakening for 1 round. So you want to use this early, so this would be ideal to use now. Put weakening on this guy, but it's the first encounter, so we don't really need to do that. Now what I want to do now probably is let's use my second, so I need to finish young Steven's turn here. Now we're on to our second turn. I think I'm going to actually engage the archer, because I don't want the archer to be able to fire, so I'm going to engage, and then we're going to use the stab attack, 6 to 7 damage on this guy. Nice. Now, I wouldn't normally put the rogue class head-to-head with somebody, but because it's an archer, melee damage is going to be so minimal, it really doesn't matter. So we'll end Mark's turn. This guy, giving Steven a stab. Now, poison is annoying. That's going to keep, obviously, ticking, so we're going to need to kind of resolve this pretty quickly. We've got 2 goes now. I think the priority kill is this guy. So we've got Rich on the flank here. I'm going to bring him up to a flanking position, and then we're going to basically give this guy a bit of a hit in the side. Nice. Now, need to think about positioning, so I'm going to end Rich's turn there. Rich has also got first aid, so he is the person who can heal people if they're, going to die, or they've got stacks of poison like Steven's got. But what I would need to think about is if I'm going to move me now I can actually go for the back attack, which is huge. If I was to move here, Rich would not be able to shoot through me. Well, he could, but he would obviously damage me instead. So you do need to think about positioning. Now, if we go for the kind of back attack on this guy, it's going to do some good damage. Now we've got Cleave. Now Cleave is an ability that you need to think about, because obviously it's got a swinging AoE. So if I'm swinging and then I've got people stood here or here, I'm going to hit them. But in this case, I'm just going to cleave this guy in the face. Which is nice. Again, I've also got Taunt as an ability, but we're not going to use it. So it's going to be the archer's turn next. And again, melee abilities from an archer, not to be worried about. So we've got a new starting round here. Now we need to think about with the kills, who we want the experience to go on. So what I'm going to actually do is get Rich to soften up this guy. Now I want to make sure I kill this guy. So if a Rich softens him up, Nice. That's Rich's turn. It's done. I think we'll give Lockett the kill. I think having a good brute and a good kind of, tank class is kind of really key. Oh, absolutely slapped. Now, we've got galvanization. Now, one of the things up here you can see is this kind of, I guess, checkpoint here is that when we kill enough of their enemies that are on the screen, we'll get galvanized. We significantly boost our damage and obviously increases our willpower and all this kind of stuff. Now these guys as well, we can also, they can retreat. Now we're going to kill this guy before he even has a chance to retreat. So Stephen, because he got the kill, we can still now move. So I'm actually going to take Stephen here and put him on the side. And there's a reason for that, because we'll get a surrounded bonus on this guy, as you'll see in a second. So we'll end that turn with Stephen. Stephen took 1 damage there. Now, because of my cleave attack, I need to now be careful where I move my swordsman. So I'm going to kind of move like here, so that I can cleave and not hit my own troops. We do need to think about this. Wow, that crit, that was huge. So that's good. So Mark is now going to get the kind of final kill. As you can see here, we've got Wrath, deals 6 to 8 damage to the target if they have less than 50% health left. And it is a fatal blow, so it's basically guarantees the kill, but his normal stab is also going to guarantee the kill. So we'll just stab that guy in the face. Excellent. Right, so we got human remains. Don't really want to take them necessarily. We can just loot what we want. We're going to take the cloth, and we've got a dagger here, which is nice. I'm not going to take the human remains with me. What we can do here, now we can repair all here. We're just going to use up raw materials. But when we get to a town, we can also get our gear repaired by a blacksmith in town. So I'm actually just not going to do this right now. I'm going to hold on to the raw materials. So we picked up a dagger. Stephen also got a promotion. So here. So a level 2 ability we can take on Stephen. We've got this ability here called Relentless Charge. Disengages, so that's good if we're kind of stuck in combat, and deals 4 damage to all turns in their path. So it's kind of like a charge. Means we can equip medium armor and medium helmets. Smasher, so this deals 4 damage to all units in an area. So this is kind of a bit of an AoE, and applies 2 poison to bleeding units. Now, key thing there is poison to bleeding units. So we'd need somebody to kind of put bleed down first. Or we've got Destroyer, deals 4 to 5 damage and applies weakening for 3 rounds. That's kind of huge. And it means we can use heavy armor and heavy equipment. So Stephen, we're going to take Destroyer. And then also we've got some attributes here we can kind of spend points on too. So Stephen obviously is kind of got high strength scaling because we've got the 2 pluses there. Crit, not really necessary in this class of movement. So I think we're just going to basically put the points into strength and take Stephen up to 8. So that's nice. So Destroyer level 2, Lockett, excellent. Now we did get a dagger. So if we look here, Mark's dagger here, Rusty Shiv, gives us 6 to 7 damage and 2 dexterity. This is going to give us 6 to 7, but it's got poison on it as well. So actually, if we put that there, we're now doing 6 to 7 damage and applying poison, and it's got +3 dexterity. So quite a nice pickup actually for the first kind of encounter. Not bad. Right, again, we want to pick up these nodes, and then we want to head into town. So we've got 3 iron there, which is nice. There's loads of little focal points off the kind of beaten path we can go to. Now there's a stables here. Now we will want multiple kind of ponies at some point in the game. Let's inspect here. Again, we need to keep an eye out for this stuff, because again, you can just pick up loads of stuff for no real kind of effort. I think there was something else to inspect here, was there? Or no? No. And yeah, we're going to head into the first town, and then we'll give it a bit of a review there. We'll pick up our first kind of quest. Okay, so we earned a knowledge point here. So this is what we can spend. These are kind of like universal perks and benefits that we can spend our stuff on. As well, as we get different professions unlocked, they unlock different skill trees. So the workshop skill tree, here we could use the point to build stuff. We still need the raw materials, but you can use it to kind of build what you want. Now, saddlebags is really good. We need that ASAP. But if we look in the knowledge tree here, We can learn run. Now run basically means I can press shift and the boys will speed up. This is really useful if you're being ambushed out in the field. So that is probably a really good first one to go for. The other good one is smooth talk, which is that recruitment costs are reduced by 10%. That's quite nice. But with smooth talk, it unlocks something else. I think it's like here or here, which increases the speed of training of recruits. So you can kind of get this and then get something else. We're going to pick up run because it is actually really useful. As you see, if we end up in a kind of sticky situation, you'll see. But let's hand it to Stromcap. Cool. So the towns, obviously all made up of different things. But let's go to the apothecary clinic first. Now, if we speak to her again...
My concoctions can heal the most grievous injuries. Be sure to hold on to the vials after using them.
Now, we could heal, but we haven't got any wounds because we didn't take any damage that was beyond our armor. So again, instead of using medicine potions, we can come here and to this town or any other town and she'll heal us. What we do want to buy is a couple of empty vials. Now, they're 10 gold each, so I only want a couple. Because as you'll see in a second, I want to start being able to craft my own medicine to kind of increase that. So if we click on the apothecary table here, we need to set somebody as the alchemist. So I think as an alchemist, I'm pretty sure at the alchemy profession gives like increased dexterity. So I think we probably want EWAF on this, but there's another profession I've got saved for him. So we're going to go with arrows for this. So Rich will be our alchemy kind of profession. So again, we can use our materials and we can then create bombs, oils, medicine. But we need the raw materials obviously to do this. So we just need to kind of scavenge these or buy them as we move around. So Rich is going to be our alchemist. Perfect. Then if we let's go to the blacksmiths next. Now again, as I said, if we talk to this guy,
you can use my anvil. I can also repair your armor.
So he will repair our armor for 8 gold, right?
If you happen to know one.
Now we could have used repair tools to do it ourselves, but these repair tools, two repair tools is going to cost us 10 gold, which is what it would have required to kind of repair our armor. But he'll do it for 8, so it's slightly cheaper to use a blacksmith than your kind of raw materials. So we'll get him to repair our armor. That's fine.
Here and there.
And then we need to assign our blacksmith. So I think Stephen, just the destroyer, I think it just kind of fits. So we'll set Stephen, lock it up as the blacksmith. So again here, we can craft knives, shield, basic armor and stuff. But obviously, the more levels we get into blacksmith, the more cool stuff we can craft. So that is all good. Let's exit. What we'll do now, we'll pop to the inn. Now the inn's quite a cool place. Now first of all, this guy highlighted in kind of purple here.
You. Yeah, you. You looking for work?
Now this guy
and point you toward the best missions, the kind that pays much better than the measly rewards the mercenary guild has to offer.
So the missions from this guy we can buy, but we have to buy them with our influence. Now obviously these are 50 influence, so at the moment that's quite expensive for us because it's going to basically rinse all of our influence. But obviously the rewards are a lot better for these types of missions. So we're not going to do anything with this guy for now, but we just need to know that he's here and available. Of course, we've got the actual innkeep himself. We can we can rest at the inn if we need to, so it's obviously going to cost us some gold to do this. We can camp for free, so it's not necessarily ideal to do this. One thing I do want to pick up is some brandy. So brandy basically gives 1 happiness. So when we camp and we have our evening meal together, we want a bit of brandy in there. So it's only 3 gold, so I'm going to pick up 5 brandy. That'll do. And that will kind of help sustain, improve the meals for the kind of short term until we get some better kind of raw ingredients. We've then got this lady over here. So these are our actual quests and missions here.
Our role as emissaries is to ensure.
So if we review the board, these are the list of bounties we can kind of take. Now, some are easy, some are hard. Obviously, you get more gold for hard and so on. Now, also it gives us a direction of where these are. So if we wanted to go out and do a couple at a time, it would make sense to kind of head out in the same kind of direction. So we've got two things out east, actually, as you can see here. First of all, there's a kind of a bandit squad, which they want killed, which is pretty straightforward. And again, another kind of bandit squad here. Now, they're both out east. So I'm going to accept this one, which is telling us again it's out here to the east. Reward 175. Now, if we pick this one as well, they're right on top of each other. So this is just efficient, right? So we'll pick those two up there. Now, you see that there are also some shady individuals hanging around here now that we can recruit. So we've got 3 people we can have a look at here.
I'd rather become a mercenary than beg on the market square.
So we've got gun and all. Okay. If we inspect, so this is a spearman. It's a different class. So it might be nice for us to pick this up to give us a bit more kind of flexibility with what we're doing. We need to think about traits here. Bloodthirsty, so increased crit chance by 3%, and nimble, increased dex. That's really good. Really, really good. Obviously, it doesn't really look like anybody, so we need to factor that in. If we don't, we'll leave talking to him for now. We've also got this lady here, Anarthal. If we inspect, so she's another brute. So we've already kind of got a female brute. Traits: hardworking. That's really good. Vegetarian, must eat fruit or vegetables at every meal. Can get annoying because if we haven't got any, she's going to start getting pissed off. But she has got a massive 2-handed hammer, so there's kind of some benefits there. And then finally, we have Melingus over here, who is another swordsman, so same as me. Raised by boars, so she gets increased willpower, and Snorer, again, so some of these traits can be negative as well as positive. So I think, all things considered, we're going to take on Gunneral here. Gunneral. Now this is going to cost us 60 gold and 30 influence, so I'm kind of okay with that, to be fair. Let's recruit. So he's joined our companions now, which is great. So we just need to think here. Gunneral. Maybe we can rename Gunneral, obviously. I think we're going to... I think because of the beard, it's going to be Cassius. Okay. Cassius has been renamed, and the other companions approve. I mean, why wouldn't they? Okay, so we've now got a spearman too, which is nice. Cool. So we kind of recruited in here, and that's good. We'll exit this. Next stop, the market. So there's not too much to do at the market, really. Obviously, we can talk to this guy, and we can buy some stuff. So we can buy some hemp. Actually, I'm going to pick up 2 of these, or we can just buy the rope outright. Now, the reason we want rope is, obviously, as it says there, we can make stuff with it. But also, we can, if we've got rope, we can actually snare and capture animals to add to our companion list. So I'm actually going to pick up 2 rope just to start with. And then here we can also pick up kind of raw materials, barber kits if we want to change anyone's appearance. I think that will do for now. There's a couple of beggars here we can talk to, but I CBA. Then final stop is the town hall itself. So we've got kind of the town or the lady, the mayoress in this case.
Are you mercenaries? I'll have you know that we do not take kindly to refugees in these parts. Why, you ask? Because they have overrun our streets and are now taking to the roads.
He's Welsh.
Erdogan is sending our way anything with legs and a mouth that cannot wield a sword. You have your work cut out for you. There is no...
So basically, we need to build up our reputation first, and then we'll start to get quests from this kind of main part of the story, if that makes sense. So we're going to depart the town. So we need to head east. We know we've got 2 bandits to go and take care of. Obviously, we need to be careful with our companion size, because obviously the more companions we have, the more food we need. But what we're going to do is head down here to this, which is possibly the most exciting part of the game for one of our combatants, which is the angling profession, which we're going to give to Iwaf. He is going to be our professional archer, angler even. And now what we need here is, what we don't have at the moment is fishing hooks. So I need to craft some fishing hooks, which we can do when we make camp. But the main thing is I've got the profession sorted. He's ready to roll, and we'll do some fishing next time. There's plenty of these little fishing spots around the map, so That's not a big deal. Now again, if we check the map, we're heading out east to these kind of 2 quests out here, so we're going to keep heading east again. As I said, we want to pick up kind of all of our stuff along the way. Some of the kind of terrain travel kind of gets a bit stuck sometimes. It's a bit weird. They still haven't fixed it. Right, that's good. I've got some little bodies. A few lads have had a slightly unfortunate issue here. 2 cloth, that's good. I'm going to inspect this body as well. Now there are ones out here. I'm kind of going to stick to the road for now. Anything that's close I will just pick up, but we will need to kind of go off the beaten path to find certain things. Also we'll come across landmarks like the Sinister Cave, where we can get other quests and clear the cave out and all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna, for this, just to kind of get this episode 1 in the can, we're going to kind of progress. Again, a guard outpost here. So we've got another knowledge point. So I'm actually going to put this into smooth talk now. Although I have just recruited someone. But what you can see now is that now we've got different professions. Different things are starting to open up. So we can use these points to buy things as long as we've got the raw materials. But I think the actual kind of permanent traits are obviously better. Endurance training, improved stamina, improved movement speed in the world, increased by 5%. That's pretty good. Cut their wages for the greater good. That means it's not going to cost us so much to pay everyone. Now, we haven't got to pay anyone yet. How much we need to pay people will come up down here when we need to. That's not terrible, but rationing's quite good because the troops will eat 3 less food. So we're going to pick up rationing because that will just improve our kind of food supply stuff long term. Let's keep heading down this way. Again, check the map. Again, we just need to head out directly kind of east to pick these guys up. We need to be careful we're not missing anything. Yeah, I think if we follow this road east, then we're going to need to head south. They're probably going to be in the forest somewhere. Classic bandit behavior. I don't really want to take on both fights at the same time, but that may have to happen. All right, now we need to be careful here because these are the guys. Let's go, engage. Okay, Astar the Tyrant. So this is our quest here. We got 175 gold. Level 1, they have a henchman. So this is going to be this person's going to be quite difficult to kill most likely. So let's kind of set up. Cool. Now the arenas for these are kind of unique every time, depending on where we choose to fight. So because we've chose to fight along the road here, we've got quite an open area. Obviously, if we choose to fight in the forest, there's going to be more trees and stuff. Well, there are also here are environmental things. So I can move somebody here to pick up this spear and throw it. So there are environmental things. Again, another opportunity for a spear here. There's also a bear trap here. So we need to be careful. Again, we might start to get abilities where we can push people towards stuff. So we need to be careful of this stuff as we're moving. So we've got this guy here, Astar the Tyrant, 25 armor, 22 HP. Pretty thick, to be honest with you. So I want my Brute and my Spearman, so Cassius and Lockett up here, getting this guy's face. I need to mind the bear trap. I'm going to want the archer probably in behind. So we're going to push in this way. I've got 2 moves before the henchman will move. So this guy doesn't move until everybody's taken their turn. That's kind of massive. I'm going to want Ewaf on the flank, but I need to be careful of this bear trap, and then we'll put the swordsman here. Okay, now the thing is, when you pick this up, the red area is where you can throw it, obviously. So it's not really going to be massively helpful to me at the moment. What I think I'm going to do, Stephen's our most tanky member, so I think the first kind of plan of action is to engage the Tyrant so that he can't start moving around the map and giving us shit. So Stephen engages. Now we've got this weakening blow here. I might use this. 6 to 8 damage, but weakening for 3 turns. I think we use this. Okay, so it's done 4, but it's applied the weakening, so this is good. This is going to help us over the next kind of 3 rounds in trying to kill this guy. And it also means we can still use our basic melee attack. And good. Lockett's turn done. Engage the henchman. Now, I know this guy's going to move first. He's going to move next. I'm kind of conscious that I I would love to get Rich into a position where he can actually start shooting soon. So I could bring Rich here, but then that means the henchman's going to get him. Or we can look at... I don't know if Mark can get... He can't really get there. I do want to move him on the flank, but he's not going to be able to take a turn, and I don't want him engaged. So it might be most sensible to just get Chris to go here. And then we just start pummeling this guy as best we can. That probably means the henchman will then try and fight Chris. I could also... It's the only kind of combat position. Or you can move me in. And we could go for a cleave then. If I was to position here, we could then go for like a cleave. It wouldn't be able to hit them both straight away. I don't think. Decisions to be made. I think we just need to... Let's tank this up. Let's get Chris in. Now, the spear attack, it pushes them back 1 meters. So I can... Oh, that's really nice. Okay, so obviously you haven't used the spearman yet. So this would be where we could potentially push somebody into a bear trap. Just talked about it. So I think we're going to hit the henchman here with Chris. Does double damage if it's used from distance. It's really nice. And that's Cassius's turn complete. He's now going to move in. Take 4. Okay, that's okay. So they're now engaged in combat. Now, what's going to be good next? So everybody else can kind of move in now, but I'm going to have an issue with angles with Rich. Mark just needs to move because I want to get him in for a back attack next turn, but I need to be really fucking careful about where I walk. Okay, so we're just positioning Mark for next turn to come in and backstab these guys. So that's his turn done. I'm thinking with Rich, I don't know if from here he would have a diagonal into this guy, but let's have a look. Nah, it's going to hit Stephen. Weirdly, he can hit this guy. No, it's going to hit too many people. So again, I need to get Rich on the flank, so that's fine. No further action from him. Now me, I'm going to come here. I'm going to move around this side. And then I'm going to be in perfect for a cleave next turn. So this guy's going to whack Stephen. Because of the weakening, only applies 3. This is huge. A new round is starting. Now, I'm thinking here, the best thing to do is for me to probably... We've got 3 moves before this guy takes his turn. I could go here and cleave both these two. Yeah, this is nice. 3 and 4. So this guy's now got no armor left. That's huge. Now I can also still move, so I can actually disengage now because I'm not locked into combat, so I can freely kind of disengage, which is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to move out the way. I'm going to bring Mark. So end my turn first. Now I'm actually going to bring... I want to get as many hits on this guy as possible, actually. So I think I'm going to use the next turn. We're going to use Stephen. I'm not going to use another point. We're just going to use our standard attack. Just need to start chipping this guy down. It's so tanky. So that's Stephen's turn done. Now Chris can push this guy back again. But I don't really... The henchman's not going to move for a while. So I would rather actually that we probably go with Mark here. Because he can move in. Get poison on this guy for 1. Nice. And then Mark, what I want to do here, so the guy doesn't turn around and start hitting Mark, is just disengage with our kind of rogue. Now this guy's going to hit Stephen again. 3. Okay, the weakening is really heavy. This guy can potentially hit like a truck. So, right, arrows, kind of useless power at the minute. I really need to get Rich like over here. So I'm going to walk him to here. And then again, it will just have to be next turn. And now Chris, we're going to spear attack this guy. It's going to knock him back towards me. But he's poisoned. He might die. Now what we can do with Chris is we can move and actually re-engage this guy again. But then I'm going to block Rich's angle. So I'm actually going to stay still. And just end our turn. Oh, this guy went on to me. That's fine. Ow. But he's taken 1 poison damage. A new round is starting. 2 turns before the henchman will move. So we've got ages until this guy moves. Now what I'd love to do is for Rich to kill this guy. So if Rich moves to here, because then I can free all of my damage up to hit the shot arrows. Right, nice. Okay, so we reached our galvanization checkpoint, which is huge. I need to be careful here because Chris is going to knock this guy back, and I don't really want to do that, to be honest. And I want to cleave with me next. So end Rich's turn, sorry. Now, if I was to move... Now, what we want to get on this guy is the surrounded kind of benefit, which we've just got there. So this, again, is a big kind of debuff. Now, I'm going to hit... I'm going to hit Steven if I do this. Maybe not if I do that. Let's see, we'll test this. No, we don't hit Steven. Nice. We just did 5 damage to him. So that's my turn done. Steven's probably going to take the next hit, just a normal... This will get into his health damage, which is nice. Excellent. Now Chris. Now if we spear attack, if this is going to knock him into me, which is potentially going to... I don't think it will. Again, we need to test this. So let's use our spear on this guy. No, it doesn't knock him into me because he's blocked. And then what we can do is we bring Mark in behind and we backstab this guy. This might kill. Or we could use Wrath to just guarantee it, but I think this kills him anyway. Let's go. Unlock the trait Glorious. Nice. Okay, so we took quite a bit of damaged armor here. Now, oh my god, we got his plate armor. That's disgusting. That's going to be huge on the boys. Oh my god. So because we're out in the field, and I know I want to take another fight quite quickly because there's another group in this same area, we will repair our armor here with the raw materials. Okay. Now we need to camp as well. So what we're going to do is that in a second. Let's just go to arrows because he's got a promotion. So Valorous Audacity, every time this unit ends their turn next to an enemy and is not engaged, you gain 1 kind of action point. Interesting. Every time this unit kills an enemy, we gain 1. So we can get finishing kills. Every time this unit ends their turn next to an ally and is not engaged, that's quite nice. We can probably, like, if we keep EWAF and arrows together, like, because they're going to be kind of going in and out of combat, that could be quite nice. We could kind of dovetail that, or we just let the finishing blows go to the archer. I think we'll try this. I think this is more reliable, potentially. And we've got movement, so that'll increase how far he can move. Constitution and crit. I'm thinking maybe to start with, because I want him to be super mobile, and we've got kind of a increased skill in that. So we'll take the movement first. That'll get us up to 8. So that means we can move a little bit further. What we also want to do with Stephen is absolutely chuck this on. There we go. So low movement, but we are now thick. That's a huge upgrade for our destroyer. Oh my god. Perfect. Right, what I'm going to do here, because we've run out of fatigue, is we're going to camp on the road here. Now, when we camp, we need to have a meal and stuff. So we could also craft things here. So if we go to the workshop here, we need to assign a tinkerer. So somebody who, the only person I've got without a profession is me. So that will just have to do. And then we can actually craft a fish hook. So if I craft 2 fish hooks, that will be good. And then we can go fishing next episode. And we'll craft 1 lockpick as well in case we come across a chest that we need. Over time, we can build our camp out. We can add tents, cooking pots. Cooking pot is the really kind of key one. So we need wood, and we need a bit more iron ore. This is going to massively help with kind of food management. So that's a kind of big priority. Now, if we're going to sleep here, now we've got 80% danger because we kind of have camped on a road in the middle of the forest, but we'll make it work. So 2 bread, and then we'll just top it up with veggies. Yeah, that kind of works. Now, 80% is quite high for danger on an attack, so we need to be careful here. Okay, cool. So we're well rested. We've gained 2 more points. So we're now valor points up to 3. Happiness increased because we got the +1 from our kind of alcohol. And yeah, pretty good. So I think for episode 1, we're going to leave it here. We're going to take on that second kind of bandit troop next time round. And yeah, we will continue the adventures of Wartales. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.